Welcome to CrossFit 1926. Glad you're here. We have our cubbies here. You can put your coat and shoes in there. If you misplace anything or you've lost it, we have lost and found down here, so remember to check that regularly. Walk this way. Feel free to use these benches while you're waiting for your class. We have a water cooler. You can fill up your water bottle. We've got this cooler with drinks that are for sale. When you arrive, you can check in at this iPad here. You just type in your name and that'll check you in. Follow me over here. We've got the big board where we display the workout and you can post your scores afterwards. Down here in this toolbox we have some first aid supplies, and then down here at the bottom we have our AED. Okay. Hi, I'm Justin and this is Lexi. We wanted to start today by talking about what CrossFit really is. CrossFit is constantly varied, functional movement performed at high intensity.
So there are 4 ways that we can vary workouts on a day-to-day basis. We vary the movements, we vary the loads or the weights, we vary the time and the reps. So the programming that we follow is constantly varied, so when you come in here for a workout, you'll never get bored.
Functional movements are just natural movements for everyday life. We do a lot of deadlifting, a lot of squatting, we reach overhead, and everything you do here in the gym is going to make you better outside of the gym in real life. Deadlifting can be as simple as picking something up off the ground. You squat every time you sit in a chair, and you reach overhead whenever you have to put something in a shelf or take something out of a shelf. Totally safe when performed correctly, and that's what we strive to do here.
All of our workouts are also performed at high intensity. Intensity is the amount of power that we generate. Obviously, intensity is different for every single person, but we strive to have every workout be performed at a high intensity.
Nice. Air squats are important. We do a lot of squatting here, and it's something that's foundational. We want to make sure that we're doing it right. So we're going to go over the air squat first, and Lexi's going to demonstrate for us. She's going to stand with her feet just wider than her hips, about as wide as her shoulders. She's going to angle her feet slightly out. She's going to keep her spine nice and neutral. It's not going to change shape at all throughout the whole movement. And she's going to show us 3 good air squats. And you'll notice as she's doing that, she initiates by setting her hips back first. She keeps her chest nice and tall, and she's looking straight ahead. Those look good. So the 3 most common things that we see people messing up on this a lot is, the first one is foot placement. If your feet are too close or too wide, it's going to be impossible to hit correct depth. That is actually, so this is where it's too close, and can you show us a super wide stance? Well, she can do it, but most people, when they have their feet wrong like that, they cannot get full depth. Full depth is when your hip crease is lower than your knee. So can you show us what that looks like when you do hit correct depth? Thank you. The next biggest fault is related to foot placement, but it's not hitting full depth. That looks like this. So you see her hips are not going below where her knees are. And then the 3rd most common fault that we see is not keeping your chest up high. Can you show us a couple where your chest dips too low? So building on the air squat, we're going to talk now about the front squat. Lexi's got her PVC pipe to simulate having a barbell. She's going to put that into a front rack position. You'll notice that the bar is resting on her shoulders and not on her hands. The setup for the squat is the exact same. Her feet are just wider than her hips, and she's going to initiate the movement by sending her hips back, keep her chest nice and upright, and her elbows are facing the opposite wall. Perfect. One of the most common faults we see with the front squat is not having the barbell resting on your shoulders, and then that causes you, while you're squatting, to have your torso leaned over. So the fix for that is just to bring your elbows up and rest the bar on your shoulders, and then keep your chest and elbows high. Good. All right, the last version of the squat we're going to go over is the overhead squat. The setup is the exact same. She's going to set her feet just wider than her hips. And now she's going to place the PVC pipe overhead. You're going to lock her elbows out and press up into the bar to have active shoulders, and then initiate the squat the exact same way by sending your hips back, keep the chest up tall. Need 2 more for us, please. Perfect. Two things we want to avoid in the overhead squat are having soft elbows, so not locked out. You'll see that when she starts to bend her knees, she bends her elbows. That is an unstable position. The other common fault we see with the overhead squat is not keeping the barbell over the center of your foot. Lexi's going to demonstrate what it looks like if it's too far forward and then too far back. So you want it to stay directly over the center of your foot. There are some things you can do at home. If the problem is not squatting to full depth, Lexi's going to show us how you can set up a target that you know to reach it you will have to go to full depth, and you can just squat to that. Good. Thank you. If the problem is keeping your chest up, you can set up against a wall a couple inches away, get your feet set up like we talked about, and place your arms overhead and squat down in front of the wall. That'll help you to keep your chest upright. So we've talked about squatting, now we're going to talk about pressing. And Lexi's going to demonstrate a strict press for us. She's going to set up with her feet directly under her hips. She's going to have the bar resting on her shoulders. She's going to keep her spine nice and neutral, and she's going to press the bar up overhead, getting her head out of the way. At the top, you'll see that her shoulders are active. They're pressing up into the bar the entire time, and her elbows are completely locked out. Now let's talk about some faults. Lexi's going to show us what it looks like if she does not keep a neutral spine and she hyperextends her lower back. That puts you at a risk of injuring yourself. We want to keep the spine nice and neutral. Another common fault is bending the knees when she goes to press up overhead. We will do that in the push press, but we're not on a strict press. And the third most common fault is not reaching full extension and locking out her elbows. Now we're going to talk about the push press. This is a more explosive movement, very similar to the strict press, but this time Lexi's going to be allowed to bend her knees before she initiates the press overhead. So the setup is exactly the same. Feet are directly under her hips, but you'll notice that she's dipping and driving up. Crucial in this movement is to keep a upright torso and to have the bar resting on your shoulders so that you can direct all the force from your leg drive into that press overhead. Some of the faults with this are very similar to the strict press, hyperextending your back and not reaching full extension. Lexi's going to show us what that looks like. Another common fault is to not keep the bar directly over your feet and leaving it out in front. The last movement is the push jerk. The setup is, again, the same as the strict press. She's going to have her feet under her hips. The bar is going to be resting on her shoulders. This time she gets to initiate with a dip and a drive, but then also catch in a dipped position. One of the common faults we see with this is people not pushing themselves fully under the bar and they end up just doing a push press.
Now we are going to talk about the pull-up progressions that you will see in class. So the first progression is a ring row, and Justin is going to demonstrate what a ring row is. First, you'll start with your feet directly under the rings. You're going to lean back. You're going to keep a tight core, and you will just pull yourself up to the rings. Good job. The next progression is a jumping pull-up. So your head should be around 6 inches underneath the bar. You can use a box or a block to get to that height. You will go ahead and grab onto the bar, and you will use your legs to jump up so your chin goes over the bar. Great. Now we are going to do a negative pull-up, which is the next progression. So it's very similar to the jumping pull-up. You will jump up so your chin is over the bar, but then you will slowly lower yourself down. So the next pull-up progression is the strict pull-up. Similar to the negative pull-up, you are going to be pulling yourself so your chin is over the bar, but you will not have a block to help you. So you will hang from the bar and pull yourself up. Great. The next pull-up that you will see in class is the kipping pull-up. So you will use your shoulders to initiate a kip swing, and you will go into a pull-up. Justin will demonstrate. Once you've mastered the kipping pull-up, you can move into the butterfly pull-up, which is a more efficient pull-up. Justin will demonstrate. The next movement we are going to cover is the deadlift. First, you are going to start with your feet right underneath your hips. You are going to keep vertical shins, and you want your shoulders slightly in front of the bar when you pull up. So Justin is going to demonstrate. He's going to keep active shoulders, and he's keeping a straight bar path when he pulls the bar up. Great. The two common faults that you will see with deadlifts is a rounded back. Justin is going to demonstrate a bad rounded back deadlift. And the second fault that you will commonly see are your knees being too far forward. The next movement we are going to go over is the sumo deadlift high pull. Your feet are going to start wider and your hands will be narrow. And the rest of the setup is just like your normal deadlift. You are going to hinge at the hips, and you want full hip extension before you do your shrug. So Justin will demonstrate. One more. As you can see, his elbows are high and outside of the bar. So there are two common faults with the sumo deadlift high pull. One is pulling the bar too early before you reach full hip extension. And the next common fault is not keeping the bar close to your body. The final movement of the deadlift is the med ball clean. Your setup is going to be just like your deadlift. You are going to reach down, deadlift the ball up, shrug, and drop underneath of the ball. You want to reach full hip extension before dropping under the ball like Justin is doing. Two common faults you see with the med ball clean is leading with your butt during the deadlift. The other common fault you see is curling the ball.
We're going to talk about some gym etiquette. One of the big things here is to not drop an empty barbell. Please don't drop an empty barbell.
There you go, looking good. Come on, finish it up, looking good. Come on, keep it up, keep it up, keep it up. Good, good, come on, finish strong, come on, you got it.
Go! Don't drop your barbell!
Another point of proper gym etiquette is to not drop a barbell with 10 or 15 pound plates. As you can see, these are very thin and wobbly plates. If you just have one on each side and you drop that barbell from anywhere, these have a tendency to crack and break. Next up, we're going to talk about using collars. These help keep the weights in place, especially in high repetition movements. If you don't have these on, the plates are going to start to slip off your barbell. In the open position, they just slide all the way up to the weight and then put the handle down till it clicks.
One thing that we think is extremely important here at CrossFit 1926 is that we want to cheer on every single athlete until they are finished with their workout.
There you go, come on, suck it up! Come on, you got it! Yeah!
When you're finished with your workout, be sure to clean up after yourself. There are cleaning supplies all around the gym for you to do that. Thank you for joining CrossFit 1926.
Can't wait to see you in the gym and help you on your fitness journey.
Hey guys, thanks for joining our video. We appreciate you taking this little trip through your orientation. We're so excited that you guys are here as members of CrossFit 1926. And as you can see, we have an amazing staff of trainers that are here. We have a good time, but we really love that you're here. We want to be with you every step of the way on your fitness journey, and we want to welcome you. Anytime you have questions, just reach out to us. We'll be here for you. Right, Tom?
Yes, Jared and I just really want you to be a part of what we're doing here. Like we tell everybody else, just get yourself in the door. We're going to take care of the rest for you. You don't have to think about it. We just want to be here for you in any way that we can.